Hello, Miss Liao. Hello, everyone. I'm your old friend Wei. Today, I'm going to talk about former Canada's Prime Minister Stephen Harper's apology speech to the residential school about the historical incident, which is called the residential school, and then I will lift up the topic to the languages with community, languages with belief, and the languages with identities, to discuss how languages affect a single person or a single community. Here, let me introduce you some details about the apology speech on 2008, June 11 on Ottawa, Ontario. Here are some brief details. 132 federally supported schools were located in every province and territory, except Newfoundland, New Brunswick, and the Prince Edward Island. Most schools were operated as joint ventures with Anglican, Catholic, Presbyterian, or United Church. The government of Canada built an educational system in which very young children were often forcibly removed from their homes, often taken far from their communities. Many were inadequately fed, clothed, and housed. All were deprived of the care and nurturing of their parents, grandparents, and communities. First Nations, Inuit, and Métis languages and cultural practice were prohibited in these schools. Tragically, some of these children died while attending residential school, and others never returned home. The legacy of Indian residential schools has contributed to social problems that continue to exist in many opportunities today. It has taken extraordinary courage for the thousands of survivors that have come forward to speak publicly about the abuse they suffered. It is a testament to their resilience as individuals and to the strength of their cultures. Regrettably, many former students are not with us today and that never have received a full apology from the Government of Canada. The government recognizes that the absence of an apology has been an impediment to healing and reconciliation. Therefore, on behalf of the Government of Canada and all Canadians, I stand before you in this chamber so central to our life as a country to apologize the Aboriginal peoples for Canada's role in the Indian residential school system, to the approximately 8,000 living former students and all family members and communities. The Government of Canada now recognizes that it was wrong to forcibly remove children from their homes, and we apologize for being that. We now recognize that it is wrong to separate children from rich and vibrant cultures and traditions that it created wealth in many lives and communities. The ability of many to adequately parent their own children and sow the seeds for generations to follow, and we apologize for having done this. We now recognize that far too often these institutions give rise to abuse or neglect and were inadequately controlled, and we apologize for failing to protect you. Not only did you suffer this abuse as children, but as you became parents, you are powerless to protect your own children from suffering the same experience, and for this, we are sorry. After reading this part of the paragraph, I feel very regretful, felt very heavy in my heart, because like this, the indigenous people and their children suffered a lot for this policy of Canada, which is called residential school. It's kind of anti-human because only small children and the age very low, maybe 10 or 10 to 13, when they were teenagers and small children with happy and vibrant cultural life in their local environment. They were separated from their home, their family, and were taken to a totally new environment to get the education which is from Canadian government, which is called Western education, to just learn English, French, but force them to give up their original languages. I think this is meant to erase their culture by a very violent way. So for this, I want to say, Canada is proud of its human rights and culture mixed, and groups equally society. But although there are many Africans, Asians, South Americans, indigenous people are still suffering the worst situations. Not only in the past, but also nowadays, indigenous people are living a poor life, which reflects on the high suicide rate of teenagers and the lack of fresh water and electricity in their home, maybe communities. What's more, they are not able to get enough education, so that they can just struggle in the lower class of the society. Without the opportunities to upload their life to enter a higher class, they just recycle this 1 year and a year. Someone thinks this kind of situation is unfair. It's still a big problem for government to make things better. Indigenous people are famous for their long history and bright culture, but this kind of advantages may turn to other side. They use totally different language systems from main society. For example, they are speak Inuit, Métis, and indigenous languages, which for us, we hard to understand it. So it's hard challenges for them to remix with us and get involved in the main society with us. For their main society, which may spread them out of the big family, and it's not easy for them to get involved touching with community with other groups. Besides, their unique belief is unique, right? But not everyone could accept this kind of behaviors like painting strange and random colors on their faces. For this reason, someone has preconception for them, so this adds difficulties for them to get admiration from other groups. Special language systems formed their identities, beliefs, and unique culture, even brave personalities, but sometimes cutting off their communication with other groups. So they may need to get outside respect for their communities and try to make other groups understand their unique value. About this, I want to say, languages is a power tool in modern world, not only because it can be a bridge to communicate with others, but it also used as a symbol of specific culture and society. For indigenous people, their unlucky life really impressed us and impacted me a lot. We often consider this ruthless government or whatever outside conditions, but we ignore the key point that culture and language differences are the cause of groups against each other. So what's more important, maybe reduce differences between different groups and make a better place for everybody and every groups to live in. So about languages and communities, of course, indigenous people may speak different or totally different languages with us, with our Asians, with other immigrants, or with local white people who is from European. But we can also accept their languages because it's a symbol of their culture. They regarded it as a value, maybe a diamond, so it's very valuable, very specific, and they considered is their life, their whole. So you can't erase it or can't just take it out from their community. This will get better. They will not get a better result, but get things into worse. So about the languages and identity, their personalities is brave and they are encouraged to fight against their rights, which may cause big problems. So just use violence is unfair and is not the right thing what government have to do. So it's back to the speech which Stephen Harper gave us. It's wrong things that the Canada government used to do. So for today, we need to find a more peaceful and a more useful way to deal with these problems. Finally, for the languages and the beliefs, I believe that indigenous people have their bright culture and a bright identity, bright belief, which maybe I'm not very understand, but in their life is their whole. They regard it as a diamond or something very valuable. So I remembered that in China we used to learn a context from our textbook, which is called a bird flying from tree. This others is, I think, is very famous in the North America. He is called Seattle, a leader of a kind of indigenous people's country, maybe some groups of them a community. He tried to not try to give up their rights and culture, but he tried to talk and communicate with white people, who is from European, and they tried to get their rights and make their people stay peacefully with white people. So nowadays we know famous American city on the northwest coast of America is Seattle, which is named by this leader's name. So as this example, I think indigenous people, of course, they can get well with the other groups. So I think what they need to change is just their opinions. And for us, for the white people and the other groups, we need to respect and accept their culture, their unique culture symbols, and get them involved in our main society. We communicate with them, we talk to them, we help them develop their economy and create opportunities for their children, for their teenagers, to change their poor life and poor situation. Anyway, I think finally if we follow to doing this, we will make the Canada a better place for all the groups to live in, and it's a better result, I think, which is from this passage. This apology speech gave us the ideas about languages. So all in all, languages and communities, languages and identities, languages and beliefs, all these things is reflected on languages, which surely affect our life, for our home and our friends. Okay, thank you. That's the end of the speech.